So I try to strongly encourage, and the IRS is trying to strongly encourage people to become CAAs to help our community renew and get these ITINs. And so you don't have to be a CPA, you don't have to be a lawyer. It's a little bit easier if you are, but we want more people to consider applying to become a CAA so that folks do not have to send in their original documents. So in order to do this, there's an application form on the IRS website. I've identified the form. This is a link to that. You have to take mandatory training, which I believe that mandatory training online is free, and then you have to attach this certificate that you took that mandatory training, and then you have to get this forensic training. Unfortunately, that forensic training does cost, and the application, I do believe, if you're not a lawyer or a CPA, they do ask for fingerprints. So they probably run it through the FBI's data bank. If you are a lawyer or CPA and have already been fingerprinted, like I have for California, as a California CPA or California lawyer, you do not have to be re-fingerprinted. And in order to remain active as a CAA, you have to have at least 5 W-7 applications or renewals a year. And how long does it last? That is a very good question. It is, so if as long as you're active and have at least 5 W-7 applications a year, then I know I got mine, if I remember correctly, it's about a 6-year period of time. This is the process to become a CAA. I believe the status is 6 years. What's interesting, I'm not sure at the end of the 6 years what the reapplication process is like. It might be exactly the same. Might have to pay a fee again. Might have to go through training again. I don't know, but it's at least 6 years. How often is the site updated, the IRS site? Certainly at least annually, because I know that it's really important that the VITA programs are updated before tax season. So, and that seems to be pretty consistent. The IRS really wants to provide this information because they know if people use these programs, it's easier for them to process the tax returns because they are done electronically, they're accurate. So the IRS definitely wants to encourage it. So I think it is pretty well updated. So additional resources about CAAs. The only real resource that I know is the IRS website, but they do provide you with the name and the contact information. So what you could do is you could Google the person's name and address, and then sometimes if these are paid tax professionals, they would be reviewed by Yelp or other groups that evaluate services. So maybe even Angie's List, I don't know, but certainly service providers are evaluated outside of the IRS website. The IRS is just telling you that they have gone through the training successfully. But I would definitely contact them to find out the cost and to make sure it doesn't have to be with the tax return. And if so, how much is that tax return cost? By the way, the IRS website also has not only free VITA programs listed and CAAs listed, but they also have tax preparers listed who have gone through the IRS training. So people have from other cities have asked me for a reference for a tax preparer, a paid tax preparer, and there's a link on the IRS website that will give you, again, not really commenting, but will give you names of paid tax preparers who have a PTIN, which is a number issued by the IRS. So uh, they have a list. Again, this is a good question. I would Google that person first because the IRS is not saying that that person is, they're not standing behind that person, but they are saying that they have successfully applied, et cetera, et cetera.